Welcome to 0 to 60. Matt McChesney. I am the owner and operator of 6-0 Football Academy and 6-0 Equipment. Played at the University of Colorado from 2004. 6 years in the National Football League on both sides of the football.
That was his dream to play for Colorado. And McChesney grew up in Colorado, always wanted to be a Buffalo, has had a great career.
I'm Matt McChesney. This is 0 to 60. That is Coach Prime. We're at the University of Colorado. Brother, thank you so much. Happy Monday, bitches. 0 to 60 rolls here on the Believe Network. I'm your host, Matt McChesney. Bailey's on the ones and the twos. We have a lot to talk about here today. Last week was awful. I'm sorry I was laid up and incapacitated. I have a 5-level fusion in my back, and I ruptured one of the bracings in it, and my feet are going numb and shit. My hands are going numb, and it's been shitty. So we're back. We're going to try and get through all of this without any problems. But yeah, man, I mean, the weekend was humbling to say the least. God damn, that was nasty. So we have a lot to talk about, bro. Remember, it's always brought to you by good friends at FanDuel and Game Time and 6-0 Football Academy and so many people that support the show. So we thank you. Bailey, let's get this shit rolling.
Let's get rolling here. We're in the building here on 0 to 60. We appreciate all you guys tuning in, all the support here on 0 to 60, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage, brought to you by the Believe Network and FanDuel. Matt, we are in the building here on Monday after a wild weekend of football, to say the least here. But, Matt, shit just got real. Colorado loses to BYU and in a frustrating and embarrassing fashion. And man, I have a lot of questions for what's next, what the future holds this season for Colorado. But, Matt, I want to start with you. Let's get your biggest takeaways from Colorado versus BYU. Go ahead.
Heartbreaking loss. They played hard as hell.
Yep.
It doesn't cover up. The effort doesn't cover up the mistakes. And there were so many coaching and player-led mistakes. Now, the players did not make plays. Salter was not good, even though his numbers may lead you to believe he was. He was not. He had a really hard time processing the progression through the passing tree. And again, Pat's an NFL coordinator, regardless of if he's good or not. But he needs you to progress through your passing tree, and Salter obviously struggles with this. I'm more disappointed about the loss than I am angry about it. I thought they played hard enough to win. I'm more disappointed in the coaching staff in not putting them in position to win consistently because, again, when you're running the ball like they were running the ball, why are we not just running the ball every play? Like, why do we have this fascination with playing 500 ball, especially when you go up 14-0? You're letting the other team back into the game the more you try and throw the ball. Just literally line up and hand the ball to your backs who were averaging 6 yards a carry. He only had 8 rushes, bro. Why does he not have 20 carries?
Exactly.
I don't get it. And then Salter, I know he had some rushing attempts that were more scrambles. Mm-hmm. Where are his design quarterback runs? I'm so tired of having this conversation over and over and over again. I'm tired of it. So obviously we don't want to play into our strengths offensively. That's my problem with the coaching, one of them. The players, look, man, there's a couple of positions that are glaring that are not playing up to standard. The offensive line is actually playing really well. I salute all 5 of you. I think you're playing your balls off.
Agreed.
If Shador had this offensive line last year, they might be a 1-loss team. Okay. But okay, cool. I'm glad. Let's try and consistently build on this again while you're not leaning on them, and then showing them how much you want to help them out, because every offensive line wants to lean on people. When you're up 14-0, that should have been a 60 carry game, not an 8 carry game. And then it doesn't show a lot of faith in them when you don't lean on them the way you should, especially in that situation that happened on Saturday night, being up the way they were. So that's one point here. The players have to be held responsible for the mistakes they make. I think Salter. Okay, I understand we're playing quarterback carousel, and it's like you can contradict yourself one show to the next. Yeah. I get this. I understand. I know I've said stop Martin Luther stop, and so we'll go back to Salter and let's play Juju. My problem is, how is it that BYU and their staff can get a guy that wears number 47 and is not a 5-star quarterback recruit, true freshman? How can we him and he can just show progression and get better and beat us, but our 5-star isn't ready to play? How is that? We can't build a game plan around Juju to support that kid so he can play, because obviously he's the most talented player in the room. And I'm just going off the fact that he's a 5-star recruit, and I've seen him lace the ball. You got to support him, and maybe, if he's in the game, you better run the ball 60 times. My question is, why? I mean, I understand the next game is at TCU now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
I believe so.
That is going to be a very difficult game for a lot of different reasons, and we will get into that tomorrow. But I'm saying it right now, Juju should start that game, and he should start every game for the rest of the season. And there's no reason not to play him, and I don't care if we win or lose. I care about his progression and getting better and keeping a core intact that you can move forward into next year, which includes Seaton and Juju and Miller and all these other guys that I think really can grow together and get better, especially up that offensive line. A lot of those guys are coming back. So you have a chance to really gel as a unit, which is hard to do in college football these days, and move into next season if you start playing the young guy now and building around. So that's something I think needs to happen. We'll see what happens with that, but I think it needs to happen at this point. Back to the coaching. Actually, you know what? Let's stay on the players. The quarterback position obviously needs to be better. Juju should be the guy moving forward, just because I want to see it. I want to see what we have. Sure. I know he wants to play, and it's time. Defensively, I'm embarrassed on the way we play the run. The 3 technique play is embarrassing. I'm embarrassed. I apologize for the 3 techniques of old at the University of Colorado. This is not the way we're supposed to play at that position. They were so good at that position last year.
Yeah.
They just, I think Arden Walker is playing his balls off. Other than that, man, we are really struggling in the front 7. Our linebacker play is not very good, if in fact it's downright bad. Our interior defensive line play at the 3 technique and the 1 technique position is just bad. We look great. First, you get off the bus and you're like, God damn, these motherfuckers are huge. But then they play tall too, with no explosion and no punch. They can't shed blocks. There's no block recognition. That's really one of the main issues for me, is if they're double teaming you, if you don't understand how to play a double team, number one, and play post and drive and back key and do all the little things that can help you be successful here, that's a problem. And I don't see us doing any of that. You feel me? Like, it's just, they're just playing their key, and like they're in the way, and the linebacker supposed to make the play. And that's not the way that this front is organized. That's not the way that Warren Sapp plays 3 technique. But again, we don't have Warren Sapp playing 3 technique. He's coaching the 3 techniques. And those guys, I'm sorry, but we don't have anybody that can play that position at a high enough level to win. And the numbers tell me that. Don't sit here like you can get as mad as you want about it as Prime Sexual. If the players hear this, if Coach Sapp hears this, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Coach Sapp, you know how I feel about you. Best 3 techniques ever walked. This is not about you, bro. I know you feel the same way. Like, we need a fucking warrior at that position. And right now, we just don't have it. And I hope that they can find somebody in the transfer portal or develop, one of these young guys. I think the redshirt freshman kid who's hurt right now, he could be a really good player for us in the future. He started the fucking opener at 3 techniques. So obviously he can play. It needs to be honed and developed. Make sure he doesn't leave and transfer. Not saying he would. So there's a lot of problems. The secondary, the man coverage, the refusal to change up your coverage patterns and confuse a rookie. We just lost to a freshman quarterback that wears number 47. Now, my opinion on this has changed because he beat us and he looked good doing it, and that's just a bad motherfucker right there. 47 is ugly as hell, but, bro, you made it look good, so I tip my cap to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so upset that the BYU can develop a system that supports a true freshman quarterback, and we have the best true freshman quarterback in the country, and we can't develop a system that supports him. And I need to see it now, because you didn't just lose a game. Now I'm seeing the difference in the development patterns and the consistency there and the recruiting and the lack of development and recruiting and how it's biting us in the ass. We're losing games that we shouldn't be losing because we literally have guys at the position that are just mercenaries that are getting us beat. Salter is a mercenary quarterback. He got us beat in the Georgia Tech game. He got us beat in the BYU game. His play and lack of being able to progress through the tree and then putting everything on him. So it's a two-way street here, right? It's not just failing. It's the coaching staff not playing into his strengths and running an offense that actually plays into what he's good at, right? And using Wyoming as another distraction. Like, look, we got better. No one's saying you didn't, but you can't get away with that shit against BYU. All that said, if he does his fucking job and completes some passes and goes through the progression that Pat and Coach Prime and everybody wants him to go through, they chop BYU up.
Sure.
So there's so many things here that are wrong. Why you stop running the ball? Why? Anybody in the comments, can somebody tell me why in the Tiffany fuck did we stop running the football, bro?
I mean, that was by far my biggest takeaway. Because, Matt, in the first half, I was hyped. I was like, damn. They were
doing great, but even halfway through the second quarter, they stopped. Not even. At the beginning of the second quarter, they stopped running the ball.
I texted you. Fuck. Literally.
Right? They stopped running the football, and it lets BYU back in the game. And then they feel like they can't run the football anymore because they're in a shootout. But BYU just kept running the ball. BYU just said, fuck this. Even though we're down, we're going to double down on what we do. Georgia Tech did the same thing to us. We're down. We got to double down on what we're doing, and we'll come back and beat this team. Bro, why the fuck did we stop running the football? This should have been a 45-50 carry game. We should have had total time of possession dominance, multiple 100-yard backs with multiple touchdowns. Maybe the quarterback goes for 100 yards rushing as well. I don't get it. Why did we stop running the ball?
It seems like when they get uncomfortable, you kind of said it, man. It seems like when they get uncomfortable and they got up quick, right? And then when BYU started coming back early in the second quarter, when they get uncomfortable and they go back to what they're comfortable with, which is the same shit we've seen the whole season that we're frustrated.
We started playing like we were losing.
Yeah.
And we were up. You go up 14-0, you should beat you should beat the dog shit out of that team the rest of the game.
It's the same narrative.
Put clamps on show coverage, rally and tackle. change up the fucking man and zone concepts to confuse the fucking rookie quarterback, which we did not do. We can't pass off coverage worth shit. Hodge can't play man coverage. Something's got to change there. That kid can't play man coverage anymore. We have liabilities in the secondary. Again, Coach Prime, I know you want to play man coverage every play. They're not you. To the coaching staff in Boulder, Colorado, those kids aren't y'all. You've got to find a way to coach them in a way that they're receiving the message differently than just, you're better than this, go do it. They're not professionals. They don't know how to just turn it on and off. They're not y'all.
Yeah, that's a glaring issue that you mentioned right there, Matt.
If you listen to the halftime speech that Coach Prime made, they're up 14-10. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that he's passionate and challenging them. I'm with this. I fucking love it. I love it. Okay. But all that said, I wonder how many kids, we talked about this last week and the week before, I believe, how many kids in that room look at each other and go, I'm going to make the play, instead of everyone looking at each other and going, which I think happens is, who's going to make the play? I don't want to make the play. He needs to make it. He needs to make it. We don't have anybody on the field that just says, I'm doing this, motherfucker. Like last year we had Shador and Travis, and they did that. The play needed to be made, bam, a play's being made to win the game. Now we have a bunch of guys looking around waiting for somebody to do some shit, and it's not working, bro. We are in trouble.
Matt, I mean, seriously, and it really – there's an alarming issue when I hear Prime – and I'm going to play the clip here. When I hear Prime on the post-game press conference say the moment seemed too big for our players. That's
he's not lying. He's not lying. Look at, and that's not on. Look, I want to be very, like, other than the 2-minute deal, which I don't understand. We'll talk about this. Obviously, might as well now. We are awful at 2-minute offense at the end of halves and at the end of games.
Clock management's a major fucking.
I mean, we got real problems with clock management. Other than that, this loss is not on Coach Prime. The players were in position to win this game, and they choked it away. This is a player problem in this game, in my opinion. Now, the play calling didn't help. So I guess if you want to revert it full circle, the fact that he didn't yell at Pat to keep running the fucking ball, I don't know, man. I think everybody's at fault, actually. So just it's less a coaching – is it less a coaching problem?
I think it's on both. I think it's on both the players and the coaches.
I'm confused. I think they had so many opportunities to dominate this game, not just win it, and they lost the way they did. It's like, ugh, it's so disappointing and like just a letdown.
I just wish I would hear the head coach come out and say it's on me. That's the one thing I've never maybe he said it in.
He did. He said it. He said I take responsibility for it. It's on me. He ended the press conference with it. He said it was on him. He said it's on the coaches. It's on the players. It's on me. Everybody has to do better, and he's right. I mean, everybody has got to look in the mirror right now and go, why are we losing these tight games? We should be winning. This team is better than this. He's right. Now, all that said, there's not a fucking leader on the team. Who's the leader? I know that we got leaders and dogs, but I need a captain.
Mm-hmm.
Who's our C? Who's going to stand up and put a fucking end to this shit?
Mm-hmm.
Who's afraid? Who strikes? Jordan Seaton, that's the guy who needs to do it. You need to strike the fear of God into people to do their fucking job before you rip their head off and shit down their fucking neck. They got to be more scared of you than anybody in the room. You got to go in there and make sure that people do their jobs, because your money is being directly affected by the scrub play of people around you. Period, Jordan Seaton. Brother, your money and pocketbook is being directly affected by the scrub play of people around you. Period, man.
So I have to ask you this question. I have multiple questions I have to ask you. Chatting on like this, but I got a bunch of heat asking you this 6 months ago, but this is where we're at. If Colorado, because Jordan Seaton probably is pissed after the first half they had, and then they just completely go away from it. As an offensive lineman, and you play, like, you completely get it. You would be hot if you run the ball like that, and you just say, fuck it, we're just going to fucking sit here and pass block the rest of the fucking game. if Colorado doesn't change their habits, what the fuck is going to happen to Jordan Seaton? And I got to ask you about the quarterback position because that's also another conversation there. But let's start with Jordan.
You better start running the ball. That I understand the kid is loyal to Coach Prime. He's given him 2 great years. But he also, Jordan, look, I think Jordan is going to be a first-round draft pick regardless of where he plays football. He could transfer to fucking Weber State.
Yeah.
And he's still going first round. Okay, so I don't really think that matters. But I do think that the way that these offensive linemen think, being an offensive lineman, if you can't run the ball, that's one thing. Like last year, there was times where we just couldn't run the ball. Now they can, and they're refusing to.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm Seaton, like, why is it that you don't trust me enough? You brought me here to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You're still trying to play 500 ball with a guy who can't throw the ball and can't read a defense. And we're rotating quarterbacks it's just what it is. So you should be leaning on the offensive line. Yeah, if I'm Seaton, I'm a little fucking perturbed. I mean, I'm not going to put it out there that he'd leave, but at the same time, I did see him working out at the University of Miami in the offseason in their facility and shit. And I understand he went to IMG and he knows people and all that, but that fucking stuck in my crawl since that day. So I think that there's an opportunity here to really rally behind your best player on the football field, which is Jordan Seaton, and lean on him as a leader and as a player. And the only way you can lean on him to lead your team is by run blocking. Like Andre Gerard and Victor Rogers and like Dan Graham and shit. Like I love the fact that we could pass block that year, but you know what they're known for? Road grading motherfuckers and moving people.
Bingo.
So let the best player in the country at this position go road grade. It really bothers me that they don't trust him enough to do it. Like he's literally destroying the defensive line at the point of attack in that game. Him and Hill were eating people alive, and then they just stopped running the fucking ball. They just stopped. They're just like, oh, well, we're doing this really well, and we're up 14-0. Fuck it. Let's play some 500 ball and let him back in the game and not control the time of possession. What? Fuck it. Who cares? Our backs don't need more than 8 carries. 8 carries? I'm just at this point, okay, bro? Now we've gotten to this point. I'm sorry. I really apologize to everybody for all the negativity and shit, blah, blah, blah. Now it's negligent. Now you don't want to run the ball. Now you're doing this, and it's directly affecting the team, and the play calling is it's unacceptable. This is not going to work moving forward. And honestly, they're not going to win another game if they keep doing this. They're going to be this close all year, and we're going to be sitting there wondering why they can't finish. It's because we won't do the things it takes to make this team win. This is not the same team as last year. Run the goddamn fucking ball behind your first-round tackle.
Bingo.
I mean, there's both backs had under 10 carries each, both
here. So, okay, so I mean, if you're looking at rushing here, Michael Welch, 11 carries, 67 yards, 6 yards a carry. Draylon Miller, 8 carries, 52 yards, 6 yards a carry.
Awesome, and like they showed Wildcat. Yeah. Why aren't we running Wildcat every other fucking play, bro?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what we're doing.
Now, this brings me to my next, because Colorado is at a crossroads here, Matt, because this drops them to 3 losses, and now the quarterback position is even more of a whirlwind, even more of a...
He's out, bro. You're gone. Juju needs to play, period.
Okay, so that brings me to my next point here. Going forward, Colorado has got, TCU, Iowa State, Utah, Arizona, and so forth. Julian Lewis, it has to be time for Julian Lewis, Matt?
Why would we keep playing Salter? Why? What's the point in playing this kid moving forward?
There isn't. There's no
point. And you know what? I'm sorry. I know we got 38 seniors on this team and 38 graduates, and that's great. And we're not saying the season's over, but we are saying that we've given you all the keys and this is where we're at. And now, we've got good teams on deck that want to destroy us. And we need to evaluate our 5-star and see if he's the future.
Mm-hmm.
And if he comes in and fucking lights it up for 400 yards and 4 tutties and they turn into what they were last year because he's that guy, which as a 5-star, you would expect that to be the case in the way that this kid plays, especially when he gets comfortable and he's throwing to his guys and like he knows he's the man. He gets all the reps in practice. He's not competing with the other two. They're watching him get ready. Mm-hmm. Then cool, we can play this offense. If he needs to come in and we need to run the ball 50 times and lean on a huge offensive line that can obviously move people, then good. Let him set him up for success by morphing the way you coach to the personnel you have on the field. He's a 5-star. You should be able to fucking morph an offense to support this kid. I just watched BYU do it with a 3-star true freshman that we're at 47, for God's sakes. We can't do that in Boulder with better offensive personnel, a better offensive line. We have better players than BYU, but they outcoached the fuck out of us, and they developed their guy way better than we did. And they, I'm sure that there's older quarterbacks on that roster, but they looking at the future. They said, well, we can develop and win and get ready for the future at the same time because we've got all these coaches on staff and we do this as a profession. So that's concerning to me to see you can't and couldn't do that up to this point, but we can change by doing it now. Juju needs to play, period. There's no point in putting Salter out there because every time he struggles and we lose another game, but it's why is he fucking playing? I'm sorry, but in mercenary land, I don't care if this kid's a 5th-year senior. Bro, I'm sorry it didn't work out. This is professional football now. Like, go cry it out in the fucking locker room and shit. Like, when he said in that press conference, well, the last time I got benched, it really fucked with my head mentally. Well, yeah.
I bet it did, but I mean, this is
welcome to professional football, bro. There's expectation.
I mean, here's the thing. He's not lying when he says that. 100%. You and I both said that when he was pulled, that this might be a thing. Now, with that said, this is where Colorado's at. They got 3 losses here. So playoffs out of the question. Big 12 title is probably out of the question, too. So
Big 12 title, what are you, out of your mind?
I'm just giving the
there's no fucking way.
It's going to be a struggle to even get to a fucking bowl game.
So listen to that. Look at this. They paid him $568,000 in NIL, so they got to give him run time. They paid Juju $1.2 million, dog.
Exactly.
They got to give him run time. He's the future. This Salter, you lost. Okay, you paid him 500 G's. That's money that you won't get back, and you don't want it back. It's the price of doing business. You paid Juju $1.2 million as a fresh, and he's got all these endorsement deals and shit. Like he's obviously the future. He needs to play right motherfucking now. He needs to play when this team is still hungry and they can rally around the rookie and he knows he's the guy who gets all the fucking reps in practice. It forces you to change the way you do things and lean on the offensive line more so he can be supported and throw more play action than throw more shotgun. I know he can do both. I want him to be able to be supported by the offensive line and the people in front of him and running the football and being physical because I know they can do it. And then you can go chop people up with the elite receivers we have on the outside. So that's what needs to fucking happen moving forward. But it makes so much sense that it won't. And it's really fucking bothering me.
So you think they'll
I know I've gotten to the point here where I don't believe anything I'm hearing anymore.
Yeah. I mean, so let me ask
you. Want to run the ball? Like after the game when they're like, well, how about Miller and did you figure out what to do with him? Like, yeah, it was excellent. It was great. How about Salter? How'd he play? Wonderful. He was wonderful, amazing. No, he wasn't. He was terrible. Stop trying to hype him up. You record everything. We hear you yelling at them and telling them they're not doing a good enough job. And then after the game to like make everyone feel better about choking this game away, we have to listen to how good they are. But Miller, yes, that should have happened, 20 times? Mm-hmm. Wildcat, I know about Wildcat. I was on the first team to ever run that motherfucker with Ricky and Ronnie Brown. I was on the team that invented that shit in the meeting room. So I know all about the Wildcat, and it eats people up. And it obviously worked. Why didn't we do it 20? What are we doing? Why won't we run the ball? How long are we going to sit around and get fed this bullshit like We're going to lean on the O-line. We're going to run the ball more. And then they won't do it. They won't do it. And then the teams that we're going against, Georgia Tech's committed to it. They beat us because they're committed to it, period. Houston was just disgusting. But again, they were so committed to running the football. Obviously, it worked. That was just a shit show all around. Mm-hmm. And then BYU. There's no way BYU is a better football team than us. On paper, they're not. We have way better players. Like, they're in a rebuild.
Paper, yeah, they're not. But, I mean, right now, they are a way better football team.
They're a way better football team. They don't have better players. They're coached better. They're put in position to be successful better. They're developed better. There's not like a huge turnover of guys getting fucking cut and released. Both those tackles that played for BYU are Jaddy, played at CU 2 years ago, and they let him go and told him he couldn't play. He went to BYU and developed. He started for him for 2 years at left tackle, NFL player, Isaiah. And the right tackle, Gentry, went to Columbine. Right down the street. And then went and did his Mormon mission and developed, and now he's the right tackle. Again, those players were in our room. You know what I'm saying? Like that in our backyard to recruit. It shows you the differences here. And I just hope that Coach Prime can figure out a way to get everybody moving in the direction he wants them to move in, because I really think he's on the right path. But he keeps saying the right stuff. We got to get tougher. We got to do this better. We've got to fucking move forward. You know, it's on the players to get better. They have to want it. It's on the coaches to coach better. I have to do a better job. He said all that, and I agree. Now it's just a matter of doing it, you know, like on the headset. What if you don't run the ball every play for the next 8 plays straight? You're fired. You're the head coach.
It just seems, Matt, when they get uncomfortable and they face adversity,
they go
away from what's working and running the ball, and they go back to the bubble screen.
And then what about the 2-minute stuff, bro? What do we do? Why is this so difficult?
Prime needs to hire somebody at this point, and just
why is it that we can't operate a 2-minute drill to save our fucking life? We couldn't do it at the end of the first half, and we were awful at the end of the game again. Just terrible. Like not taking timeouts, just kind of lackadaisically running to the line of scrimmage, throwing one, then running a draw, and like it's kind of up there, and then it's clock's just ticking. We're not doing anything that resembles winning football in crunch time.
Urgency.
I just don't get it, bro. I don't understand. And it's another problem that keeps reoccurring. And they're losing games by 3 points in one score. They're not getting beat by 40. They're losing games because they don't pay attention to the details. And the other team is paying attention to the details. We're really good, but we're super undisciplined and don't do things right a lot of the time. And it's costing us football games, period. That is a fact.
Yeah, this is just what
the
it is.
2-minute drill is awful, Bailey.
I agree with you. And it's to the point where, I mean, Coach Chavarini said something where Prime needs to hire somebody up in the box or something to manage this, because they're losing football games because of it, Matt. Seriously, this is what
that's what I just said. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately.
And again, we've talked about this repeatedly now for the entire season so far. So what do you want us to do? I'm not being a dick for calling it out. What do you want us to do? I don't fucking no one. I can't call the timeouts. Bailey can't call the timeouts. Neither can you. We can just sit there and evaluate what we see. And if you're a football person, you know the difference between what's going on, if it's right or not. It's not. No one's being a dick. You have timeouts, use them.
I agree, Matt. 100%. Colorado's at a crossroads here, and a lot is up in the air for the future of their season. We'll see how Coach Prime chooses to handle that. But, folks, we're going to take a brief break on the other side here. We have a lot to discuss on the college football side, the NFL side. Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss had an unbelievable win, and Lane's cashing in receipts, to say the least. Oregon and Dan Lanning take out Penn State. Dan Lanning is fired up, to say the least. Boy, he's got the juice, Dan Lanning. We're going to discuss that and so much more. NFL, Matt's Two of Matt's teams play tonight, the Jets and the Dolphins. So I can't wait to preview that matchup with Big Matt. Talk a little betting here. The show is brought to you by FanDuel. And if you guys are watching, pound that like button, subscribe, become a member. I appreciate you guys all watching 0 to 60, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage. We'll see you in 2 minutes, folks. Peace.
Whether it's offensive linemen as they work combos and double teams and also pass, pro, and punch, I think the unique physicality of this is outstanding. So much so that you can use it for your shield on punt team or as you rush in the shield. There's so many different ways that we're using it. We get better a little bit every single day, and I just wanted to say thank you because I hadn't ever thought of this, and when I saw it, it made total sense, and we're doing a great job with it. So thank you, man. Go Big Red. What this has done for us is it's allowed us to, because of the surface area, because of its firm nature, I can still strike against another player and have to use that punch just like you do on a sled. At the same time, have to time my punch because it could move. I can teach defensive linemen how to handle double teams because they can feel pressure. We can simulate contact in a safe environment in non-contact times because of this unique bag.
Welcome down here to the Lab 60 Football Academy, 60 Strength and Fitness. I am your owner and operator, Matt McChesney. I just wanted to let everybody know that 60 is now on Cameo. You can go on Cameo and request any tips for training, any offensive line, defensive line tips, recruiting tips. I get so many inquiries in my inbox on a daily basis about tips and can you look at my film and can you do this? Can you break down something for me? I'd love to. All right? It's like the Joker said, my man, right here. If you're good at something, never do it for free. So Cameo is now your bridge to 60 Football Academy. Go in, request what you want, tips, suggestions, recruiting, film, and we will make sure that you get the absolute best from the best. So check out 60 on Cameo at 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy. Cameo, 60 Academy.
And we're back in the building. Pound that like button. Matt, for last thing I'll say on CU, and we'll move forward because chat's still talking about it, obviously. Two just words that I just take away. Details and development. Details have lost them 2 games. Clock management and paying attention to details, handling that has seemed to have cost them. And the development. I don't know, Matt, but it just seems Colorado leaning on the portal and not leaning into recruitment, which in prime in year 3, I mean, it's certainly the time where you'd see those players that he brought in year 1, develop as juniors. But I don't know. Details and development. Those are my takeaways, Matt. Anything else before we move forward?
Yeah, I think that's – I mean, I respect what you're saying, but you got 38 graduates and seniors on this team.
Sure.
Everybody's getting paid.
Yeah, I mean,
so you're losing games by 1 fucking score. Somebody needs to make a goddamn play. Somebody needs to step up and be a fucking leader and act like the fucking old guy that you are out there, because this is not a young football team. It's a super old veteran football team. It's a young in the fact that they haven't played together a lot. Mm-hmm. But, Jordan Seaton doesn't touch the ball. Jordan Seaton has to move people, and the play calling has to be consistent for him to showcase his skills. He's dependent on the offensive skill players and the coordinator to do their fucking job, so you can lean on your huge, offensive line and go separate people and change the tone of the game that way. So, yeah, man, I'm pretty concerned about what we're going to do moving forward. I think if we do things right, we can play with just about anybody. I haven't seen us really I feel like the Houston game was just so bad altogether, but I feel like we could still play with that team and beat them if we do things correctly. Mm-hmm. And Georgia Tech and BYU are both ranked and highly ranked and undefeated, and you lost to them by 1 score at home, and arguably you lost to them because you don't play into your strengths, and they did. And then everybody's like, I keep saying this. Do you remember how bad CU was? Yeah, bro. Of course I do. I'm not a prime sexual. I really remember how bad we were. Why is it 1 season of 9-4? Shouldn't the standard be 10 wins then?
Yeah.
Like, we can just sink back into not doing things correctly. That's not the way Coach Bryant thinks. So there's no way that that man is okay with all of this. So I bet you would agree with me instead of all these apologists out here that are trying to like make it seem like they're being attacked. No one's being attacked, you sensitive ass people. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous, man. Stop being so sensitive. Let's move on, man. It's TCU week. We'll talk about them tomorrow. That there's no love lost between TCU and Skip Dykes and Coach Prime, and there's respect. But trust me, TCU, this is their Super Bowl. They're going to try and beat the goddamn hell out of us. And if you don't know why, you haven't been paying attention.
Oh, yeah. This is a revenge game for TCU. They're coming to punch CU in the mouth. So Colorado better be ready. We will discuss it all week. Go ahead and preview Colorado versus TCU tomorrow. But, Matt, what an unbelievable weekend of college football. I mean, there's so many games that we could dive into. I mean, shit. Started off on Friday. Virginia takes out Florida State in an unbelievable game. I mean, their quarterback, Chandler Morris, North Texas, seemed to really has taken command for that offense. Tony Elliott seemed to turn around that program, and it's got them with an unbelievable win.
You're right. I don't have the energy to get mad anymore. What's the point?
Unbelievable. Yeah, that is. It's a very true comment there. But, Matt, let's start with that. What did you think of the Florida State game on Friday?
Great game. Hats off to Virginia. I'm all for a good field storm, but
oh yeah,
somebody's going to get killed. Let the kid get off the ground first before you do storm the field. Mm-hmm. And then the guy, the fucking redneck asshole that's running by and flipping people off, like,
fucking idiot.
You went to the game and bought a ticket, dog. You're not a player. Like this.
This guy's a fucking clown. Like,
I know, like this is like the frat boy generation, and like people think that because they have a cell phone, they're famous, and like they need to do shit like this. But they just played a fucking great game. That was an unbelievably good football game, just back and forth. And Virginia had a huge win, and it ranks them now. And Florida State's going to be right there. They got Miami this week, so they can easily turn their season around by beating number 3 Miami. Mm-hmm. It was a great game, so we're talking about this asshole flipping people off, and I thought the field storming was needed. You could tell.
A huge win for them.
Well, you can tell how much they care and the emotion that was put into winning. That's why college football is so incredible and why people love it so much, is because so many people really fucking like. I know this. I don't think this. People care about college football more than they do the NFL. The NFL is a more popular product because not everybody went to college, and not every, there's a lot of love with your college because you went there. You can just be a fan of anybody in the NFL. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. But I think people care. Like college football, the care level is through the fucking roof. You don't see people storming the field in the NFL. So,
oh no,
yeah, it was pretty incredible. Great game.
Unbelievable football game. Great win for Tony Elliott, and that Virginia program gets them ranked in the top 25 here, and they seem to really be contenders, or at least a problem. The ACC going to be a thorn for people. See if they actually contend, because I mean, Fran Brown and Syracuse got their ass whipped by Duke. I mean, the ACC seems to be
wide open
besides Miami. So,
I mean, Syracuse goes down. They barely beat UConn and run sprints. Mm-hmm. They go beat Clemson. And then come back and get fucking boat raced by Duke.
Yeah.
It was a good football team. Manny Diaz has got them playing well. But 38-3, holy God. So, yeah, man, it's just consistency. It's stop reading press clippings, good, bad, or indifferent. You're not as bad as you think you are. You're not as good as you think you are. You're right in the middle. Keep working.
100%, man. And, man, I mean, that's Syracuse loses their quarterback, gets a huge win at Clemson, and then, I mean, man, Duke goes up there, whoops that ass. Darian Minster, the quarterback up there, Tulane transfer, seems to be really working out. Manny Diaz got that program in a good spot right now. Matt, LSU, Lane Kiffin. Lane takes out LSU. Unbelievable win for Ole Miss. Lane kind of just cashing in on all receipts on Twitter, responded to everybody, saying Weeks threw up because of the tempo and all this stuff. What an unbelievable win for Ole Miss here, and seems to really put them in contention, national championship contention. Trinidad Chambliss, Fair State transfer quarterback, unbelievable player. Definitely will be the starter for them moving forward. Great player. Matt, what are your thoughts on that game?
It was fantastic. It was back and forth and, hard-hitting, fast SEC football. Mm-hmm. There's no love lost between these two teams. I love Lane Kiffin. He's just got swag and turns everything into a joke, and it's funny, that's just who he is. Jackson Roper, big tackle from Cherry Creek, our guy, was down at the game as a recruit. Old Miss has offered him, so he was blown away by it. Yeah, man, great game. Old Miss seems to be real. Can you go beat Alabama? Can you go beat Texas A&M? Can you beat Texas when the time comes? I'm sure Old Miss has Georgia at some point, or you're going to have to play them in the SEC title game. So, this puts Old Miss in a position where if they keep winning, they're a playoff team and they're in, and they can maybe go win the SEC and get one of those top four. So, yeah, this is a huge win for them.
Massive win. They take on Georgia here on October 18th, and then the following week take on Oklahoma. And I would assume, Ron Material will be back by that time. I think he'll be back for Texas. So that's going to be an unbelievable game. But Lane Kiffin, as you see, cashes in receipts here. That's just who he is. I like Lane Kiffin as a personality. And, man, big win for Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss. He's really become an elite college football coach. Matt, Tennessee, Mississippi State. Tennessee goes to Starkville, Mississippi State. The Cowbells, that place was rocking, to say the least. I was watching it out here in Knoxville. And, man, that was another unbelievable football game. Mississippi State really, really took it to Tennessee. Tennessee comes back late, takes the lead, and ends up winning. An unbelievable game for the Volunteers. Great win for Josh Heupel, just to basically get out of Starkville. But Jeff Levy's got Mississippi State looking really good as well, though. Did you get a chance to watch that game?
Yeah, Mississippi State's got their shit together. That's always a tough place to play. Tennessee, that's 2 out of the last 3 with overtime. So they're getting everybody's best shot, and they seem to be a pretty good football team too. The 4 spots to go to the SEC teams in the playoff, that 5th team is going to be pretty good that gets left out, because there's some fucking good teams in the SEC. So, yeah, man, it's good to see Mississippi State and another guy who played there and went through the coaching, tree stages to get the job. Mm-hmm. He's doing a good job. Last year, I saw a documentary about Mississippi State and Mississippi when they lost the Egg Bowl, and they were bad. And he was like, we're not going to be bad forever. We're going to turn this. The guys who stay, you're going to be part of that transformation. This is how we're going to do it, blah, 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 blah. And now it's happening. They already got a huge ranked win against ASU. They take Tennessee to the wire and lose in overtime. They're going to beat somebody else that they're not supposed to beat. They're going to upset somebody else, guaranteed. But they're probably going to lose 2 or 3 more games. But I'll tell you this, if you don't take them seriously, they'll beat you. And they'll embarrass you. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're a surprise team next year, especially at the rate that they keep growing.
100%. Their quarterback they got down there was really slinging the rock. Seems to really be a good player in Levy's system. Now, I just got to throw this out there, Matt. It ticks me off sitting here covering Colorado, and I just watched Colton Hood fucking pick-sixing people, tackling for Colton Hood might win SEC Defensive Player of the Year the way he's playing. He is unfucking believable for Tennessee. As Colorado sitting here watching Colorado secondary, I'm like, I think I'd use Colton Hood right now. Any comment?
Yeah, man, pay these guys. Make sure that your best players don't leave. Hood and Hill Green and other guys should never have left. They left because I guarantee you they got more money, and they were plucked and tampered with and left immediately, and they knew exactly where they were going. And then in the case of Hood, his brother played at Tennessee. Mm-hmm. Brandon. Something that he couldn't get into CU, or CU didn't want him maybe. So I heard that.
Yeah. So
I'd be taking his brother to keep Colton. So, exactly. But again, that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. I'd do anything to keep a good player. It's not your money. What do you care what they spend it on? And personally, I think that we should be spending like a motherfucker right now, which we do. Like we paid Juju, we paid Salter. I mean, Hood did it for you last year, losing that kid. That's a hard one. And losing Hill Green, too, and him not even starting in Alabama. And then watching our linebackers not be able to tackle a soul, that one hurts, too, because that son of a bitch can play.
Man, Hill Green was unbelievable.
I think he probably regrets it, too, because he's gone from like an NFL prospect to just another guy. So I don't think that he chasing the money probably wasn't a good idea for him either. Like that was just a bad fucking job by CU not keeping him. Bad job by the kid chasing the money to Alabama and not looking at the depth chart and understanding if he was playing middle linebacker for CU right now and he was leading the team in tackles again and being what he was growing off last year, he would be talked about as top 5 linebackers in college football right now. And like, where's he going to go in the draft? Guaranteed. He balled out last year.
Look at this. So he had 82 total tackles for CU last year, right? He's got 6 for Bama.
6 tackles for Alabama. Bad. This is a bad fucking deal for both sides.
Yeah, it sucks. It just man, Colorado.
Look at this.
Hood, Brandon Hood at running back. Fuck, Brandon Hood. I was excited to see what he'd do. Shit.
I mean, you should be able to keep both of them. $1 million is not enough to attract dogs. The fuck, it's not. What are you talking about? I negotiate contracts. That's plenty. That's tons of money for a college player. What are you talking about? We're not talking about fucking quarterbacks. Quarterbacks obviously are going to make more. We're talking. You put $1 million, $1.5 million on the table for a fucking bona fide DB. He's listening.
Oh yeah. Interesting comment in the comment section. Let's go to Dan Lanning in Oregon, who took out Penn State in an unbelievable win. Fun football game again. Great weekend of college football. But Matt, did you get a chance to watch this game? James.
I did. I was flipping between, we're watching Oregon and Penn State and Alabama and Georgia at the same time. Both unbelievable games. The road teams getting wins. Alabama, Georgia was awesome. Penn State, Oregon was awesome. I don't know how you can get mad at James Franklin. Somebody's got to lose the game. I mean, he went into double overtime. Like, it's just –
he's going to get a lot of hate, though, just his record.
Well, they can hate on him all they want. If they don't want him, I'm sure somebody else out there would. So,
yeah, true.
Penn State, look, they won 2 playoff games last year. They were on the verge of playing for the Natty. I'd much rather be in that situation and just – he's always in big games. They got to find a way to win more of them. Mm-hmm. But again, now college football is changing, but football fans is not. So people still think loss is the end of the world. They lost. Who gives a shit? You lost in double overtime, shrug it off, and go win the next game, and you're making the playoff, bro. Penn State's going to make the playoff. They're not going to fucking fall apart. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can lose 3 games. Sure. You could lose 3 games this year and still get in. There's tons of parity, period. Yeah. Like, especially as these teams all start playing each other and people start losing. Like, you're not going to have any undefeated teams and shit, period. Like, Ohio State's going to lose a game. Fucking Penn State just lost. Oregon's going to drop a game. Everybody's going to fucking lose eventually. So just like last year where we saw, Notre Dame was undefeated.
Notre Dame lost didn't they lose to NIU early in the year?
Notre Dame lost to NIU. So, Ohio State, obviously, they lost 2 games. Yeah. So, and didn't even get to play for their conference title and ended up winning the whole damn thing.
Won the Natty. Yep.
So, I don't think it's the most important thing to just win every game anymore. Yeah, you want to. But if you lose, you lose. Put your shit together and go win the next one. That's all I'm saying. So I think that there's a lot of good football teams out there, but separation begins like as conference play starts. So you're 2 or 3 weeks into conference play now. You're going to start seeing the teams that are like, this team's going to make a bowl game at 6-7 wins. Good year. They can build off of that. These teams are terrible, and they got to start developing their young guys and making sure they thin out their roster because you only have one transfer portal window now. So your team evaluation right now is huge because you're going to lose a bunch of guys to the portal, but it's okay. You don't want them. You better be bringing them in, and then you got to develop that group because you only get the one portal window. So you're stuck with the guys you bring in January. And then there's the upper echelon teams that are going to be playing for everything, which is the ones we're talking about. So, yeah, bro, this is going to get interesting. There's a lot of good football teams, no great teams. There's no great teams. It's just good ones. Like the transfer portal has really evened out and put a lot of parity into college football.
Yeah, parity is certainly the word. Certainly, yeah, even things out here for sure. Can't wait to dive into it this week here because another massive weekend of college football ahead. Matt, 10 years ago, if I told you that College Game Day was going to Vanderbilt, Alabama, would you ever have thought that in your life?
Fuck yeah, man. Vanderbilt's been good in the past. So, I'm not 12 years old, so I remember when they had Jay Cutler and they were a pretty good football team.
Great.
But
James Franklin.
I think that it's a good look for Vandy. Who do they play?
Bama.
Is back in Vanderbilt?
No, it's at Bama.
That's at Alabama. Yeah. So fucking A, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and I'm sure Alabama will want to shit stomp them considering they lost to them last year. So that's gonna be another great game. I mean, look, there's the SEC's conference schedule is fucking nuts. I'm glad they're playing 9 games now because there's just so many good teams in that conference.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's good games all over. Florida State, Miami is another one of those classics that you never want to see that game go away. They're always good games. A&M and Mississippi State. Mississippi State beat A&M last year, and, if I remember correctly, and, really kind of fucked their – oh, no, that was South Carolina at the end of the year. But those two teams don't like each other none too much. Minnesota's probably going to get shit stomped by Ohio State. That's a pretty good defensive football team right there, Ohio State. Mm-hmm. Houston, we'll see how real they are with Texas Tech because Texas Tech is not fucking around.
Oh,
that's a good football team.
Legit, man. That was my pick for conference this year, Big 12. They are unbelievable.
So, I mean, I don't know if Texas Tech and Arizona State play, but Arizona State's pretty good. Texas Tech's pretty good. I feel like those two teams are probably on a collision course. We'll see if they play each other. Nebraska, Michigan State. Look, I thought Nebraska probably could have beat Michigan. The Raiola and Pat Mahomes thing is starting to – it's weird. He's weird. It's fucking weird. I'm sorry, but it's weird. That said, I do believe in Matt Rule, and I think he's doing a good job. And I think that's going to be an 8 or 9 win team. And I think they beat Michigan State at home.
Yep.
Maryland, tricky fucking game here with Washington traveling the length of the country. Bro, I'm just going to say this now because I kind of forgot to bring it up. But talking about fucking Washington and Ohio State, the fucking reffing in that game.
I saw your tweets, dog. I was listening to it. I was sitting watching.
So Washington comes out and they don't give the benefit of the doubt of being the home team. You don't give them a warning. On sideline warning, you just fucking penalize them, and then you penalize the head coach for bitching at you. That's 30 yards and penalties led to 3 points. And then on top of that, the fucking passer or the roughing the passer call.
Oh yeah, that was that shit,
bro. That was 3rd and 20 from the 42. That led to a touchdown. I'm sorry, but the fucking refs in the college games, especially, were just egregiously bad. Well, how long is the college football and the NFL going to just continue to just force feed this bullshit to us? Because it's costing people money when they bet on it, number one.
The NFL
and it's the integrity of the game, bro. I start to question the integrity of these fucking games when you've got guys out here making calls that directly affect the game, and it's obviously not a fucking flag. And there's no repercussions from it. Everyone knows it's not a flag. And everyone sees what's going on, and no one can do shit about it. It's fucked up.
I was laughing because I saw the penalties, and then I get the thing from your tweets. It's just funny. Washington, UW. I mean, that was a good game, but they just couldn't get anything going offensively. It seemed. I mean, Matt Patricia, that Ohio State defense is really, really playing well. They got Washington travels to Maryland. Maryland's got a true freshman quarterback. Washington is pretty freaking good, man. He's really, really got them going. So that's going to be.
What about the refs?
What about the?
I'm serious. What the fuck? Like that shit is ridiculous.
Oh, what's
Like,
gonna be done about it though, man? I'm like, dude,
this has gotten to the point where if I'm a Washington fan, I really think that we got fucked over in that game.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Period. Like, I understand looking at the score, you're like, well, they didn't have a chance to win. I totally disagree. I watched the whole game.
Most games.
I think Washington could played with them pretty much in every circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
And at little moments, fucking Ohio State would have a break for them because the refs made it so. And those breaks lead to fucking touchdowns, not just like they're punting the fucking ball on 3rd and 20. There's nothing. It was an incomplete pass. So I don't understand it. And I feel like the reffing in the Georgia-Alabama game was overzealous. They're just fucking every time there's a big hit, there's a flag. And the whole kicking guys out of games for helmet. Like,
the Virginia DB there kicked out on Friday. That was some bullshit, man.
That's bullshit. If you want to kick the kid out of the game, or if you want to penalize him, okay, whatever. Yeah, it's fucked up, but we're used to these fucked up penalties at this point. So penalize him. Why does he have to get kicked out?
Yeah, why are they ejecting? That shit ticks me off, especially like. I mean, there's some real questionable targeting where I'm like, dog, he's laying with the shoulder. What else do you want him to do? Does not hit him? Like,
man, it's just the refs and the inability for them to like do a good job. It makes me not want to. It makes me not want to bet on games. It makes me want to like just watch and be like, oh well, I'm glad I'm not getting fucked by this call this week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's fuck, dude. If the NFL isn't as bad this year. Until you like, but it's bad. I mean, the NFL reffing is just it's. I don't think they've had a real problem yet with like a call that's cost a game, but they will eventually. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, that's certainly an issue. Matt, your two teams play tonight, though, or two of your teams that you played for, Jets and Dolphins, played tonight here. Can't wait to dive into it, discuss some betting here. The show is brought to you by FanDuel. And Matt, this is going to be an interesting matchup tonight here. Your Jets coming off a frustrating late loss against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 2.5-point underdogs against the Dolphins, who I'm just come out and say it. You are really frustrated with the Jets. I can't imagine your frustration with the Miami Dolphins because they might go 0-16. I'm rolling with Jets money line today. Give me Jets money line all day long on FanDuel. Anyway, Matt, what do you got to say about that game?
I don't give a fuck about the Dolphins. The Dolphins can suck a nut. I hope they never win another game ever. Like that terrible organization. Awful. The Jets, on the other hand, I mean, I don't want them to win.
Oh. Okay.
I don't want you to win. I want you to lose every single game. I want it to get as bad as humanly possible. So they get the number one pick and then make a good pick at quarterback, please, for the love of God. And develop that kid, please, for the love of God. And then get moving in the right direction behind Aaron Glenn and rebuild this team the right way. I don't give a fuck about winning games this year at all. They've got a real problem on that team with, I don't think guys play very hard. They kind of give up when shit gets hard. You gotta really figure out if you're gonna build around Williams and Sauce and all these young guys on defense, or are they expendable? Are they guys you can trade and get draft picks for? So I understand that sounds crazy, but the only way to rebuild your team is through the draft, really. You don't, if you're trying to do it through free agency, free agency is used correctly when you're a team like the Broncos back in the day that were really good. All they needed was Peyton. And then when they got Peyton, they got Talib and DeMarcus Ware and like TJ Ward, and you can start just piling in free agency and it works. But usually if you just go out and start signing just guys to sign them and you're like, we got a bunch of names, that doesn't necessarily work out. So if you're the Jets, you've got commodities on your football team. They either start playing to the level you need them to play at to help you win games, or they become expendable under a new head coach that would rather have the picks and develop his guys than try and like squeeze water out of a rock. to get Sauce and Williams and all these guys to play at the level they need to play at for the Jets to be the team they want to be. On paper, defense is outstanding. On the field, defense is soft and gets ran through. You know, I think that Justin Fields, you know, I don't know, is he playing tonight?
I believe it's Tyrod Taylor.
Oh, well, great. So I predicted that would last about 6 weeks. I was wrong. It only lasted 2. So Justin Fields obviously is not the answer. Tyrod Taylor is not the answer. Pretty much everybody on that team is auditioning. Like, if you're a big money guy or a vet, you better give me a reason to keep you around here. Because if I can get anything for you as the general manager or as Aaron Glenn, I'm doing everything humanly possible to get rid of guys that can bring me some kind of value in draft picks.
My mistake, by the way. Fields should be playing for the Jets tonight against the Dolphins. So you get your quarterback.
Yeah, he gives a shit. It doesn't matter. Tyrod Taylor, Justin Fields is the same guy.
Okay. Well, do you have any input on the gambling side of it tonight? I know this is
bro. Yeah, if you're gambling on this game, you should call the number.
Okay. So yeah.
But the Bengals and Broncos, you can throw some money on that game. That's going to be a good game. But the Jets Dolphins could be like 10-9.
Yeah,
7-6.
Yeah, give me the Jets. Well, yeah, and if you guys like the under, the total's 44.
There you go. Do the under, but I don't know how you pick which team's going to win.
Well, I know what team I'm picking against. That's my thing.
I'll tell you this: as long as they don't tie, that was the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen.
Oh man, the NFL got to fix that? That ruined everything.
Like why? What? Both teams only get one fucking possession, and we tie. That game ties. That was a great game. Back and forth, tons of fucking points. No one can play defense, but you know what? Sometimes games like that are really entertaining. And I was entertained until I figured out that this was probably going to end in a tie. And then I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Why, fuck it. You just, everybody started making out with your cousin. That's like tying. It's fucking terrible. So it's just a bad look, bro. The whole tie thing, I really hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I don't understand how the NFL can have a tie rule.
I was thinking about this last night, and Chris Collinsworth was talking about, I love the new overtime rules. And I like it too, but I feel like these new overtime rules are going to create ties.
It's 100% going to create ties because you don't have enough time to do anything. There should be there's no time. Look, you get a possession. If you go score a field goal and we score a field goal, we keep playing. There's no more time anymore. It's about the possession. Yeah. So we'll kick the ball off to you, and you have a possession. Are you going to go score? If you don't score, we get a possession. Or we take over or punt the ball, and we get to go score. And if we do, we win. This whole tie shit is just, I hate it. Like you just competed your dick off for 4 hours, and we end in a goddamn tie.
Yeah, dog.
And a 40-point tie, no less.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah, bro.
That was a good football game, but it
was a really good game. But I mean, if I'm the Packers, I'm pretty concerned on why the defense is so leaky against Dallas. But look, Dallas has got a really good, explosive offensive football team. Their defense is dog shit.
Terrible.
I think Green Bay can get better. I think Dallas might get worse.
It's going to be a tough road for Dallas. I don't know, man. It's a tough division too. Now, let's go back to your Denver Broncos tonight. They take on the Bengals and Jake Browning here. The total is also 44.5. The Broncos are 7.5-point favorites. That actually opened up at 2.5 and is up to 7.5 points. So that's a kind of a big gap there if you want to look at the Bengals for some bettors. But with that said, Matt, preview this matchup. Like, what do your Broncos got to do to win here? They're at 1-2 here. Kind of a rough start to the season so far, but I think they can easily turn it around and get in the win column tonight. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I think the defense is going to fucking eat. I would not be surprised if Denver beats the fucking bricks off the Bengals tonight.
Ooh,
like the same way that Minnesota beat the bricks off of their ass on the road, that's the way Denver should be looking at this game. Okay, Browning, after this game, they'll be looking for replacements. They'll be trading for Russ or Winston or something like that.
Winston probably.
Maybe Shador. We should talk about that here. because it's very, very, very,
Ironic.
telling that all that shit happened last week. Okay. All that shit happened last week with not wanting to be the backup, yada, yada. And then Lamar gets what? Lamar
Hurt.
gets hurt.
And Cooper Rush was
Who
horrible.
would have gone in the game with an opportunity to bring them back and beat Patrick Mahomes at Kansas City?
Probably.
Shador. And then what happened in the Browns game? They replaced Flacco with who?
Gabriel.
And who was watching?
Shador.
And you can't get better doing what?
Sitting on the bench.
So the Denver Broncos host the Bengals.
Fuck.
Yeah, the Denver Broncos host the Bengals. I think the Bengals are in trouble. Now, could it be a trap game? Yeah, every NFL game can be a trap game.
Sure.
Everybody thought the fucking Bills were just going to kill New Orleans. They were flat. So Denver's got to come out and play like they've lost 2 games in a row. Mm-hmm. And those 2 games swung on fucking kicks at the end of the game. So they could easily be 3-0, but they could also be 1-2 like they are. So I think this is a massive, massive game for the defense. If I'm betting tonight, defensive touchdown for sure at home in the Monday night opener. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be nuts. That game's gonna be fucking crazy. The atmosphere is gonna be nuts.
A good one.
Yeah, I would take definitely Denver's defense to score. I would look at sack numbers. I would take Benito for a sack. I would take Cooper for a sack. Zach Allen for a sack. Jonah Ellis. If you can go find Jonah Ellis sack numbers, I know he's a backup DN, but that kid's a fucking terror. He's, you probably get a good number on him getting a sack. I would take the over, but I think it's because Denver puts 38 points on them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like
38-10, 38-14, something like that. I think that's the score. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if you see, Browning pulled in the third, fourth quarter. Whoever the third stringer is, because he's getting fucking slaughtered. So, you go put Surtain on Chase and bracket Jamar Chase. Or actually, you know what? You just put Surtain on Chase and put Riley Moss on fucking Higgins and play two deep coverage and stop the run and make Browning make throws. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If you got to give up fucking 6-yard completions to Chase, and he has 10 catches for 70 yards but no touchdowns, then that's the price of doing business. Yeah. You got to limit Chase and Higgins from going for like 20 catches between the two of them for fucking 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Right. Those two, regardless of who the quarterback is, those two have the ability to just kind of take the ball and make you look fucking stupid while you're trying to cover them. So.
Yeah, and I know Jake Browning has struggled, but he can certainly sling the rock if he gets in a rhythm for sure. So with those receivers, and it's not going to be too difficult. But I will say Denver's secondary is legit. The defensive line is a problem. Definitely look at Benito. I think
they're going to really eat the O-line alive.
Yeah, I think Benito. He's been on fire.
And this is a get-right game for the Broncos offense because Cincinnati's defense is poo-poo. Figure out a way to double team Hendrickson, and then fucking just assault everybody else. They're suck. They're terrible. So this is a really big opportunity for Denver to get their head out of their ass. Because let's be real. Bo Nix has not played well.
No, and not early. No, you're 100% right. So good get back game for the Broncos. I would still lean on the Broncos. 7.5. I'm not betting it. The total's 44.5. If you guys like that. My pick of the day is Jets money line. I'm going to continuously bet against Mike McDaniel until he is out of there, or Tyreek Hill's traded, or both. But man, Matt, it's going to be a great night of football. I think your Broncos are about to kick some ass here. Man, this has been a great show here on 0 to 60, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage here. Tomorrow we're going to be previewing Colorado versus TCU. It's Colorado. Heads down there. It's at Fort Worth, right? I believe it's down there. Heads down to TCU. Take on Josh Hoover, Sonny Dykes, and that TCU program. Man, that's going to be a huge game. TCU certainly wants some revenge in that game. So we'll preview it tomorrow. Dive into all things Colorado, Buffalo's news, recruiting. Colorado hosted a very notable class of 2027 quarterback we're going to discuss tomorrow. Man, great show, Matt. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here?
No. Just, like this is what it is. Eat the shit sandwich and get better, or this is going to spiral out of control and CU is going to end up with 2 fucking wins.
Mm-hmm.
Because, look, you've got a bunch of mercenaries on your fucking team, and mercs are not loyal to anything but success and money. So you better find some success because everybody's got some money. So that goes for the coaches as well.
Well said.
A lot of these, here's a question: is how many of these coaches need the University of Colorado? They're all ex-NFL Hall of Famers with big bank accounts.
That's true.
How many of these guys need their jobs? Or how many of these guys are going to look at the mirror at some point in the season and go, well, these fucking kids won't listen to me anyway, and we're going to have to reshuffle anyway, so everybody's just going to – this is a very NFL style of we're just going to try and stay healthy the rest of the season and build for next year. I hope that doesn't happen with this team because I think they have the potential to be pretty good. And the last time you went to TCU, we'll say this moving into Horned Frog Week, okay? The last time you went to TCU, you were negative 700 on FanDuel to win. Or plus 700.
Plus 700, yeah.
And not one fucking person on earth other than your boy and a bunch of CU fans thought you were going to fucking win. I put $1,000 on them to win. It was a great day.
I remember that.
It was one of the best college football experiences I've ever had watching a game, okay, on TV. With Sam Wilder and Tufts and all the guys I played with. Mm-hmm. It was incredible. Everybody take yourself back to that. Now, that can happen again with this team. You can go down there and upset TCU. But what did they open up as underdogs? 10?
I haven't even. You know what? Let's find out here. So Colorado takes on.
I bet you they're 12. I bet you they're 12.5 to 13 point dogs.
I'd say 16 is my guess, dog. I think they're gonna really. 14. Okay, so it opened at 13.5. It has been up.
So they're 2 touchdown underdogs. So what's their plus minus? Plus what?
Plus 425. It's kind of like UCF last year.
So this is a fork in the road game. They just lost at Arizona State in the game they think they should have won. Mm-hmm. And I guarantee you on everything, this game has been fucking circled on their get right list. When the season came out this year and TCU saw that they are hosting CU, they were like, fuck yeah, let's get these guys again in a conference game now. So they are going to want to shit stomp us. Yeah. Shit stomp. And I'm not talking about just beat us. I'm talking like Dykes will try and put 100 on us if he can.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So
and they can't.
Real quick. Yeah, man. We're going to find out real quick who actually wants to play football, who wants to coach football, and who wants to be on this team. Or is it shutdown city? Is it shutdown city? You feel me? Like, that's why I want to see the rookie. I want to see Juju play. We need a spark. I understand Salter got paid. So Juju got double that amount of money. He's the future. I need to see that kid go in and play. And you know what? I know the environment's hostile. What the fuck? Where he's only going to play home games? No, he's a 5-star stud of a player. He can handle this. Take the fucking training wheels off and let's go see what our new shiny Lamborghini looks like on the field at TCU on national TV. Let's go. So, if not, it's going to be Salter struggling and then him getting pulled and Juju going in after Salter getting all the reps in practice all week. Fuck all that. Now, Salter's opportunity was BYU. That opportunity is blown. We're 0-2 in conference. Okay? We're going to need a monumental run. We can't lose another game, number one. And we need people in front of us to lose in order to even sniff the fucking Big 12 title game. Especially with 16 teams in the fucking conference and not everybody playing each other. It's going to be really hard to get there unless you're undefeated or have one loss. Even with one loss, you could not get there. So, that said, Juju needs to be the guy moving forward, and we need to win a couple games, go to a bowl game, and keep him as in the installed starter, put a ton of fucking, successful reps out there about him getting better, and they won a couple games. They finished 6-6 or 7-5 and go to a bowl game and like they're building around him in the future and Seton in the future, and Miller's coming back, and they protected the Wildcat, and he looks really good in that regard. And he's next year's Deebo Samuel in college football, and the other Miller comes back as the top X receiver in college football, and they go into the transfer portal or find a way to find a fucking 3 technique and somebody to play middle linebacker for this team, and you find the pride and tradition of the defensive side of the football again because it's lacking this year. That's not Livingston's fault. He's trying to line guys up to do their job. You got to make plays on defense, which we do not do. So yeah, are we rebuilding this year? We are rebuilding. So let's rebuild. Let's don't just parade out there a 5th-year senior that obviously can't do what we want him to do. Now, if he goes to TCU and Salter plays and they play well and win the game and he plays well, I'll shut the fuck up real quick.
Me too.
And then they'll be 500, sitting at a point 1-2 in conference, hosting Iowa State, which is probably going to play for the Big 12 title again.
Yeah.
And then everybody in America is going to be watching that game, seeing if you can knock off undefeated Iowa State at home. So winning cures everything. But at this point, I think that you need to try and develop and win at the same time. So.
Well said, Matt. Well said. A lot is in the air for Colorado's future. We'll see who starts quarterback for the Buffs this week against TCU, and we'll really dive into that matchup, previewing Colorado versus TCU tomorrow. But if you guys are watching, we appreciate all the support. Over 1,000 people in here on all platforms. You're watching, pound that like button, subscribe, become a member of the Dungeon family today. We'll be back here tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Mountain Time, here on 0 to 60, the premier show for Colorado Buffaloes football coverage. Matt, any closing thoughts? Anything else before we get out of here?
Nope.
We'll see you guys tomorrow, folks. Enjoy your Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow for previewing Colorado versus TCU. Peace.